twitch.tv/2MB Studios and folks from around the world. You're right here on Monday night at 7 p.m., which means it's time to play your favorite game show in the universe. That sounds right. Hello. Welcome. I'm your host, Misinformation. With me, as always, is my co-host, Will Actually. Will, welcome back. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, world out there watching the show. So glad to have you back as well. And I'm really excited because Misinformation, everything you said starting out the show has been correct. So that is a good sign of what's to come. I'm
starting out this show with some information that not only sounds right, it is right. All the things I've said so far are exactly correct, including this is everyone's favorite show in the universe.
I agree with that statement.
That's nice to hear, Will. Look at us getting along.
It's a great time for what's to come. I'm telling you, I got a good feeling about this show. Not only our rapport, but the three contestants that we have on today.
That's right, Will, because our three contestants on tonight are not just any contestants. They're not just a couple Charlies off the street. The folks we have here tonight are previous winners of this show, That Sounds Right, which means they're not only competing to win, they are competing for an advanced degree, a master's from 2MB University.
That's right. These smarties are all trying to show who's the smartest smarty of them all. They're not Charlies. Let's get these smarties out here, shall we?
Let's get them out here. Let's meet these folks. We've got Marissa. Marissa, welcome back to the show.
Hi, I'm a smarty.
It's great to have you here. You sure are, Marissa. We can't wait to hear all the information that you have to share that might or might not sound right.
We'll see. I'm a great liar.
Oh, that's great to know. We also have here, I hear he's the smartest man in the world. We have David Thomas. David, hello.
Hello, with the regular choo-choo, Charlie.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. David, listen.
Yeah.
I was just on Instagram doing my usual warm-up routine right before the show.
Right.
And I saw that you are once again bragging about being a previous winner of this show. That sounds right.
Yes, I just got done building robots. As you can tell, it's what I do. But you put up the smart man signal. I saw it from my mansion.
I did.
And I went to my fortress of knowledge. And here we are.
Yeah. The smart man symbol it's just a giant brain.
Yes, it is.
In the sky.
Yep.
Thank you for answering the call, David. We have Lauren here tonight as well.
Oh, hey there. I was just reading one of my many books.
Lauren, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Can I ask, what book were you reading?
This is Little Weirds by Jenny Slate, and it's certainly a book I am reading.
Wow. Lauren, I'm so glad you're here tonight. I'm so glad that you're clearly preparing for this really, trivia game show that just takes a lot of brains, a lot of info, a lot of knowledge. Everybody seems to be really ready for that.
I'm so excited for this.
Excellent. Well, audience, if you haven't been here before, let me let you in on a little secret. These folks here in front of you, Marissa, David, and Lauren, they won't be tested on how much they know. They will be tested on how right they can sound. I'm going to be asking questions. One of these people is going to be giving a correct answer, and the other two are going to just be making, if you'll excuse my language, shit up on the spot. So we are going to dive into our first question, and we're just going to see what kind of shit these people can make up.
Ooh.
This is the first time I think I've started out with such foul language on the show, but it feels right tonight.
This is extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once you go for your masters, I'm not coddling anybody anymore. I'm going to say swear words and I'm going to ask tough questions. Is everyone ready?
Of course.
All right.
No, I lied.
Marissa is off to a strong start.
Wow.
The first question of the first round is, the original purpose of bubble wrap wasn't packaging. What was it? The original purpose of bubble wrap. It wasn't to package things. We've all seen bubble wrap in the mail before, but what did it start out as? Marissa, let's go to you first.
Great. So bubble wrap started out, oddly enough, as wallpaper. Believe it or not, it was a textured wallpaper. That was the concept. But it obviously wasn't super durable. And so it ended up finding a second use in packaging.
I see. It wasn't, people put this on their walls and they quickly found out, you know what, these bubbles are going to burst.
Yeah, exactly. I think they said that. Exactly.
Interesting. Thank you, Marissa. David, let's go to you next. What was the purpose of wallpaper?
Yeah. So misinformation. You're familiar with crash dummies, right? You see them in the cars with the logos all over them and stuff.
Yes, of course.
So before that, bubble wrap was invented to just be a big, it wasn't even human shaped really. It was just a big cylinder that they would put in the car. And when they would crash it up against different surfaces, they would then analyze how many of the bubbles actually popped. And that was how they measured the force of impact on a human body. And this was before they really actually adapted an actual human shaped dummy to test that. And it was just a simple math equation. However many bubbles were popped could provide a reasonable estimate of how much force the body would take upon impact.
I see. So they would count the number of bubbles that had been destroyed.
Exactly.
That sounds like a smart way to do things.
Or it sounds like too much counting.
That would be a lot of counting. I'm wondering if maybe they had some sort of machine or device to do that sort of bubble counting for them.
Look, it's very smart people. Much like myself, I'm very equipped to count bubbles that pop. It was an honest day's work.
All right, David, we might return to you to prove that counting claim, but we're going to go to Lauren first. Lauren, what's your answer?
The original purpose of bubble wrap was actually casts for arms and legs. It is flexible and movable enough, and still holds things in place and keeps them protected and safe. Obviously, though, it's not a better material to use than casts that we know today. But for a while, it was very, very effective.
I see. So, for instance, when someone broke a bone or sprained a wrist of sorts, they might put the bubble wrap around it to keep it nice
It
and
would be
padded.
wrapped, the arm or leg or appendage would be wrapped in bubble wrap. And then a variation of what we use now, casting, would be on top of that. But it was thought that an actual hard plaster like we use today would be too hard on the skin.
I see. I see. We have 3 really interesting answers here. I'm keeping track of what the chat feels. We have support is a little all over the place. Some people think Marissa, David, Lauren sounds right. Someone in the chat, Tina Talon in the chat, says that misinformation gave us the answer. Tina Talon, I want to clarify. I do not know the answers on this show. In fact, I never do. I'm trying in earnest every week for you people. And I want to let you know that I have no idea who the answer is. I said wallpaper, not bubble wrap. I see. Perhaps this was a bit of a joke then. I'm not sure. I don't make jokes. I only identify what sounds right. Now, to me, if I'm being honest, because the chat is supporting everyone here, I'm going to go with what I think sounds the most right, which to me I think would be medical use, because as the chat pointed out, the counting in David's answer seems a bit overkill. That would be a lot of bubbles to count every time.
That's what I upgraded.
And Marissa, the wallpaper, I simply think that sounds a little silly. I think bubble wrap might look a bit ugly on the walls. I'm sorry to say it. But for the first round, I'm going to give 5 points to Lauren. Now, chat, if it's your first time here, I love to take the chat into account. So please hop in the comments. Let me know what you think the answer is, because I, once again, will reiterate, I don't know anything. So I'm really here just taking it all in. And Will's here, so I must have said something that Will wants to correct me on.
Well, that doesn't always have to be the case. My job is to come in.
Saying hi.
Sometimes, give just to say hi, sometimes be the bearer of bad news. And in this case, I have to be the bearer of bad news.
I see.
1960s were a very weird time, and they decided to create this wonderful invention for wallpaper. Marissa was correct on that.
Jeez.
They really put that stuff on the walls.
On the wall.
Very creative.
They put it on the wall.
I wonder, so this was just a design choice? They weren't trying to maybe protect people who tended to bump into?
No, I mean, things that protect people have been around that are more effective since the Grecian times.
Yeah, like bronze.
Yeah, or plaster.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap is just an aesthetic.
I see. Well, Marissa, congratulations on telling the truth. Lauren, congratulations on getting points for an answer that sounded.
It makes sense, correct. Right?
It does make sense, and it sounded a little bit more right than the other 2 answers. So that is why Lauren is walking away with 5 points. And we're going to walk on to the next question here. Question 2 of round 1 is, how do you unlock the character Smoke in Mortal Kombat 2? Okay, so the Mortal Kombat 2, this is some sort of game. How do you unlock the character Smoke? David, let's go to you first.
It's actually very simple. So you have to play on the portal stage. And anyone who's played Mortal Kombat knows if you land a particularly vicious move, the little guy pops up in the corner and goes, "Toasty!" And when that happens, you have to hit down and start. And then that will transport you to Goro's lair, at which point you have to beat Smoke, who is just Reptile and Sub-Zero with gray ninja robes. You beat him, you unlock Smoke.
Okay, so David, your answer is you land on the ground, somebody says "Toasty," and then you have to beat the sort of a bad guy.
Yeah, if you hit an uppercut, this little dude comes in the corner, one of the makers of the game, he's just like, "Toasty!" And you have a second to hit down and start.
Toasty?
Toasty, yes.
Why does he say that?
It's like, whoa, sick move.
Oh,
Toasty!
Like you're on fire.
Yeah,
or like you're heating up. Toasty. Yeah. Okay.
I try to make Toasty schoolyard slang for a while, and I didn't have many friends. So,
okay, well,
yeah.
David, if we end up picking your answer, maybe I'll go ahead and start saying that in your honor, but only if you win these points. So let's hear the other answers first. Lauren, what do you have to say? How do you unlock the character Smoke?
Yeah, you need to make sure you have the correct kind of sword, and you go to the battleground area. There is a rock formation there with actually a marking that's dark on the side. You have to hit it 6 times exactly, and that is how you unlock it.
Okay, you hit a rock with a marking 6 times.
Yep, and you have to use the correct kind of sword when you do it.
Okay, Lauren, that's a good answer. I really understood that. Let's go to Marissa, though. Marissa, what's your answer?
My favorite part of this is how Dave Thomas took like pieces of the answer. Like, you've obviously played the game, but like it's not, but it's not quite right.
Okay.
I love that though. That's so clever. So what you do is you have duel matches where you have to fight 2 people at once. You get Scorpion, who has the power to shoot an arrow with a hook on it through his palm. Now, when he does this, he says, "Get over here," which is ridiculous. If you're able to get it through both of them at the same time and then do an uppercut as they both combine into smoke. And that's how you do it.
Okay. Hold on. Marissa, while you were talking, I just got a total memory of what this game is. Mortal Kombat. Is this like... This used to be an arcade game that would be in like pizza places, right?
Yeah, it's a fighting game, 2 people.
It's just 2 people fighting, right? And they made a movie of it, and there's like a hot lady with guns. I know this game. Okay.
Yes, there is.
This is making a lot more sense. So, Lauren, I was about to give you 5 points, but now I'm remembering a little bit of background information, and I'm not remembering any rocks around.
You don't see the background images for these rocks? There's all different kinds of backgrounds. There's rocks in some of them.
It could be true. It could be true, Lauren. I'm not remembering a rock, so it's sounding a little bit less right to me, but that could be right.
See, I'm remembering that you wouldn't have the option to fight 2 people at once. I don't remember that coming up until Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Marissa.
I know it actually happened in the trilogy, which is when Smoke was introduced.
Oh. Wow. Clearly, this is a real battle of brainiacs here between Marissa and David, because both of you are just throwing out a lot of information. So really what it comes down to is whether you kind of do all the stuff that David mentioned, or you have to hit like 2 characters at the same time, like Marissa. Marissa's point is sticking with me a little bit better, although I liked the toasty detail. Marissa, was toasty a real sort of part of this?
Toasty was. It just was, and it actually was an Easter egg in the original Mortal Kombat 2, where the developers would come out and they code Toasty, but it didn't really have anything to do with the gameplay. You couldn't unlock characters that way.
Okay, Marissa, that's exciting to hear. I'm glad that Toasty remains a part of this, and I will, David, I'm going to fulfill my promise, and I'm going to give you all a hearty congratulations with the word toasty later on in the show in your honor. However, in Marissa's honor, I am going to give her 5 points.
Okay.
5 points to Marissa for all of those excellent details, hitting 2 characters at the same time. Boom. Great way to win the
Well, actually here, should have gave David those toasty points right now because he is correct on that. Toasty.
Well, did you notice though how confident Marissa sounded while she was correcting his answer?
I completely understand that.
This is
she
so
lost
not
points
toasty
on that
right
first
now.
question, and then she's like, you know what? I'm going for the jugular on this next one, and I respect that. I'm sorry, I'm sad for David, but I respect Marissa's gusto on that. I grew up on Mortal Kombat, so what are you gonna do?
What do you think?
I really thought my rocks made sense. I thought it would win.
Lauren, I was close before I remembered what Mortal Kombat was, because I'm pretty sure I've played it before.
There are rocks.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We're getting toasty. Let's move on to the 3rd question in the first round, which is, in the 2001 book Dreamcatcher, This curse word animal combo is the nickname of the small legless alien that feasts on humans. Let me repeat that. What we're looking for here is something from the 2001 book Dreamcatcher. It is a curse word animal combo. And this is what the nickname is of this small legless alien that feasts on humans. So we're looking for the nickname of this alien. It's a combination of a curse word and an animal. That's all we know. Let's get your answers. Lauren, I'm going to go to you first.
All right. So this is going to sound uncharacteristic coming out of my mouth, but it's a shit weasel. It's a shit weasel because it exits the human through the anus.
The alien does.
The alien does after it feasts.
After it feasts, it exits through the anus of the human victim. Lauren, it makes sense. And it sounds right. That's a tough answer to beat. Lauren is coming out strong. Let's go to Marissa. Marissa, what's your answer?
Oh my God. That's so good. So the story about Dreamcatcher is about someone who they're partially in their mind and they're partially outside of it, and they're experiencing things from an outside perspective that they don't necessarily have experience with. And so one of the mental creatures is a vulture that's constantly eating the main character Daniel's soul, but he didn't know what to call it, and so every time he saw it, he called it "damn it," and his twin personality that was in his brain just started calling it a damn it in return. So it's a damn it, but it's a vulture.
A damn it vulture.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Marissa, that was a really in-depth answer. I haven't read this book, but I kind of want to now. Lauren, you're disagreeing.
Is damn it truly a curse word?
Yeah, come on. That's a PG curse
I thought
word.
it was a curse word. Not a curse word?
And maybe, a curse word for 2001, maybe.
Wow.
Language has gotten way worse. For me, my language, I mean. David, let's go to you. What's your answer?
Look, you've heard two warm answers, but neither of them are toasty. This is a toasty answer.
All right, here we go.
They blatantly, it's a fuck crab. I'll tell you why it's a fuck crab.
Okay.
Because the first person to get killed by one of these things was Private James Mills, and it's literally just like this gelatinous blob sort of thing that jumps on their head and feasts out their brain. And he yelled "fuck" as it got to him, and then like the rest of the squad bailed, and it just stuck. So they call it a fuck crab.
Well, and
it's the only usage of a curse word in the book.
Wait, but they must use it all the time because they all refer to it as a fuck crab. So it's the only curse in the book, but it's a constant.
They say fuck, but they don't say any other curse words. It's just fuck crab. They don't say ass or shit. It by all respects, it's actually not a super foul book. They just say fuck crab a few times.
I mean, it's a foul book. The thing feasts on people.
Sure, but like it's more implied, it's like a PG-13.
I'm right, but I want to give David. I hope you give David the answer.
Don't give David it. No.
You should, because I'm right, because I read the book when I was in 8th grade.
You read a book with fuck that many times in 8th grade? Was that a signed reading?
No, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, but I did read this.
So, David, you were reading for fun in 8th grade?
I was, yes, because I'm the smartest man in the world.
I would love to know, David, who wrote the book then, David?
James Newman.
Wait, who did write the book?
James Newman wrote Dreamcatcher.
So David, hold on. David says James Newman wrote it?
Yeah.
And Lauren, you say Stephen King wrote it. That's a big name. Marissa, who do you think wrote it?
Stephen King wrote it. Like that's
Stephen King wrote a million books. It wasn't this one. That's just an easy replacement author. It's a fuck crab.
Marissa and Lauren are teaming up a little bit. Listen,
well, I mean, Stephen King is the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's either, let me just summarize for everybody in the chat really quick. It's either a shit weasel, a damn it vulture, or a fuck crab. And I have to say, shit weasel rolls off the tongue a little bit more. But in the chat, a lot of people are supporting David for fuck crab.
Exactly.
And here is how I'm gonna dole out these points. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Lauren 5 points strictly because the facial expressions that Lauren has been making have been so outraged at everybody else's answer that I have to think this must be Lauren's favorite book. Points to Lauren. I have to believe that Lauren loves this shitweasel book because her face at everybody else's answers. It was outraged. It was furious.
Oh, Will actually here, and Lauren is correct. It is a shit weasel.
Wow.
Guys, every Stephen King book is my favorite book.
Yeah, Stephen King is an incredible author.
If you said Stephen King, I totally missed that.
Who did you say, David? Who did you say wrote the book?
James Newman.
James Newman.
That was
Great.
my favorite part.
We have reached. This is great. We've reached the end of the first round, and I've already learned so much. I've learned that Stephen King wrote a book called Dreamcatcher. And I've learned how to say toasty after somebody does something impressive. Yeah. So, Lauren, you've got 10 points so far. Toasty, you're in the lead. Lauren's in the lead.
I'm so angry.
David, you're in last place right now with so far 0 points. But it's only the first round. There's plenty of time. David, how are you feeling right now? How are you going to make up in the next 2 rounds?
You know, as somebody who has competed in multiple Mortal Kombat tournaments, I know the feeling when you're a round down. You're 2 sets in, you start off the last one, you're a round down, but you know, like my boy Raiden, you always find a way out, and you catch your opponent unaware. And now I know that Stephen King wrote a lot of books, so this is just ammo, baby.
That's great. David, that sounds toasty to me. Before we move on, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Oh, I would love to just plug Quarantine Action Wrestling. Thursdays at 8 with a bunch of 2MB stands, as you might say. And Friday at 6:30 p.m. on Level Down, me, Ryan Daly, and Sumit Saran are going to play Apex Legends. We've never played it before, and we're going to see how we do against the internet. And then Fridays at 10:30 p.m. is the rehash with Tookie Kavanaugh and myself. And I have to watch something shitty this week that I can't remember. So it'll be fun.
Great. I'm so excited for that, everybody. Quarantine Action Wrestling at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. Everybody, Rowan is in the chat saying hi to all of us. Let's all say hi to Rowan on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hi,
Rowan.
Hi, Rowan. Thank you, Will.
What's up, buddy?
Let's move on to round 2. David, you've got some ground to cover, but I think you have it in you. You are, after all, the smartest man in the world. Round 2, question 1. What is a moon bow? What is a moon bow? What is it really? Marissa, let's go to you first. What's a moon bow?
A moonbow is a rainbow that happens at night. It is when the moisture molecules hit the moon just right so that it becomes a rainbow, but it's at night. It's a moonbow.
Wow. Marissa just said the word molecules. So as you know, everybody on this show, that tends to be an automatic 5 points. But let's go ahead to David first. Dave, what do you got for us?
So a moonbow is actually a invisibility potion in World of Warcraft. You need them for mythics. Oftentimes it's easier to skip groups of enemies instead of fight them. And you only have to kill a certain number of enemies per mythic anyways. So a lot of times we get in a group and they'll be like, everyone have a moon bow. And I don't know how to make it. I'm not an alchemist, but they go for about 1,000 gold each. So it's always a pain. But yeah, it's an invisibility potion, lasts 18 seconds. You can only take one every 4 minutes.
That could be true.
Mm-hmm.
That could be true. David, I can't help but feel that you're strategically playing a little to my blind spots here.
It didn't work with Mortal Kombat, so.
Lauren, let's go to you. What's your answer?
Guys, moonbow is a fan favorite accessory on the TV show, or one of my favorite TV shows, even though it shouldn't be, Dance Moms. Abby Miller assigned the girls a very lyrical dance. It was lyrical ballet, and the costumes were very flowy, very gray and glittery, and she had moon bows for the girls that they had in their hair. They tied up in little buns, and later they were a massive hit and sold all over, and a lot of people on Etsy recreated them.
Wow. Here is what's interesting about this round, everybody. So Marissa says it's a rainbow from the moon. David says it's a
invisibility potion in World of Warcraft.
Invisibility potion from World of Warcraft. And Lauren says that it's a fancy hair bow from Dance Moms, and then popular on Etsy. And here's the thing that's exciting is that all of this could be true. Like every single one of these answers could simultaneously be true, right? They're not
true.
You know. Yeah. But what did you say, Marissa?
I said I guess that's technically true.
They could be. They could all be true. Marissa, you're getting a ton of support in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the chat on this one because I haven't been siding so much with the chat so far tonight. Let's go 5 points to Marissa. For, again, the word molecules tends to really just bring it home on this show.
And you'd be correct.
Look at that.
Right answers.
Look at that.
So good.
Whenever I go with the chat, it really turns out good. Let's go ahead.
Rowan said I look nice. So we do know that Rowan's very smart, too. Let's put that out.
5 points to Rowan.
Yep.
Let's go on to the second question in round 2, which is this duo created the Let me try this. This duo created the McNuggetini, which helped launch their short career on the Food Network. Okay, so it's a duo of human beings, I assume, that created the McNuggetini and that launched their brief career on the Food Network. Who are they? Who is this duo? David, tell me, who's the duo?
It's the Sklar brothers. They are They are a pair of twins who were also stand-up comedians, Randy and Jason, and they had a whole bit about the McNuggetini, basically literally just putting McNuggets in milk in a blender, blending it up. Yeah, it was a whole bit. It was meant to be gross, but it just became like a signature bit of theirs. So the Food Network was like, hey, why don't you host a show that's all about gross food stuff? It was sort of like in the same vein as Epic Mealtime. And it lasted like, I don't think it even got past like what's the word for like they ship it. They did one episode and it just wasn't picked up.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Sorry, it was the Sklar brothers?
SKLAR, Sklar brothers, twin brother stand-ups.
Randy
and Jason.
Sklar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
could be true. David, that actually sounds like a reasonable answer. I can imagine that happening. You know, I don't want to try the McNuggetini.
It's very toasty.
Oh. Lauren, what's your answer?
Okay, so this is Georgia Hardstark and Allie Ward. Georgia Hardstark, you would know from My Favorite Murder. She and Allie Ward previously had a podcast called Sleepover when they were best friends, but gossip, they're not good friends now. They created the McNuggetini together when they were friends. They knew it was disgusting. They are both big fans of vintage style, though, so they filmed it like that, as though it was a sophisticated drink. It got a ton of hits and likes because of that, and the Food Network thought they were very charming and interesting people who could pull off talking eloquently about something so disgusting. So they sent them out to a bunch of like cupcake and dessert places to do a very short-lived show on the Food Network.
Okay, Lauren. And so this was for comedy.
Yes,
and
it was purely for comedy. They knew the McNuggetini was absolutely disgusting, but they dressed in adorable vintage clothing and pretended it was a sophisticated drink.
I see. What was in their McNuggetini?
It was McNuggets, vodka, chocolate sauce. I think there was some milk in it too. They did take a sip and they said it was off camera after they filmed it, said it was the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah, I can't.
Sounds all right.
Is that what you're drinking, David?
Yeah, right now. Mm-hmm.
Marissa, what's your answer?
This is the duo with Tim Heidecker and Eric Wingheim, who have their own show on Cartoon Network for a very long time. And for a brief stint, they had a off-the-wall comedy show on Food Network. And this is because in one of their shows, they made this weird food item, and Food Network thought that they were like trying to attract a youthful audience. And so they're like, let's get Tim and Eric. Tim and Eric did not fit in well with their audience, and they dropped them shortly afterwards.
Okay, listen. Lauren, you're getting a lot of support in the chat, but Marissa, I think that's actually true.
It is true. Yeah.
That sounds right to me because I remember a video of Tim Heidecker teaching me how to make ketchup. But I think
you saw the show, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen this show.
As somebody who has been confused in real life for Eric Wareheim many, many times, nobody has ever asked me about a McNuggetini.
Well, they've done so much. How many times have you seen It's for Real Estate? Because that's like
why would they make it a martini?
Exactly.
It's not
that's
fashion.
their comedy style. They're off the wall.
I have to say,
Well, that was the
I
same
do
day with the Swan
appreciate.
Brothers.
I appreciate that all of these duos all of this it's for comedy. This was not an earnest teeny. This was a comedic teeny.
It was.
Yeah.
For big laughs, not teeny.
Okay. MLav in the audience says that show is real. The Tim and Eric food show is real, but please pick Lauren or David in the chat.
Wow.
I guess this does not want me to pick your answer. So I guess Tim and Eric may have had some sort of food show, and my memory is real. Thank you for validating me. But that apparently was not where the Nuggetini comes from. Lauren, you're getting so much support in the chat. I simply cannot
think
ignore
about the Food Network and like what they would go for. Totally. That's totally like, oh, two vintage loving cute girls talking about cupcakes. They're going to put them on for at least a little while.
Do you think that might be too confusing for the Food Network to have people look so fancy and drink something so disgusting?
They knew it was a good jumping off point. The actual show did not feature disgusting things. They featured delicious things.
The Sklar brothers refer to this whole thing in their stand-up now because they have had so many pilots fail. The Sklar brothers have been on the cusp of actually breaking into a new level of fame for so long. They talk about the show a lot.
Okay, well, Georgia Hardstark and Allie Ward once lamented about just being known for the McNuggetini and how awful that would be for their lives. But then they both got really successful podcasts.
Okay. Lauren, I have to give 5 points to you. I cannot ignore the chat. They threaten me if I do. It's 5 points to Lauren. It's 5 points to Lauren. So nobody freak out. I'm going with the chat on this. People feel very strongly. We're going with the McNuggetini, although I found all these answers extremely convincing.
They were all very convincing, but only one of them was right. And that was Lauren.
Excellent. Look what you've done,
No need for anybody
chat.
to jump into a volcano today.
No need. No need for that.
That was a really specific answer, though, David. I 100% of between the two of you, I believed you.
Oh yeah.
Before the chat intervened, I was going to give points to Marissa. I'm not going to lie, but only because I had experienced that show before of some kind.
The second Dave and Marissa started talking about like legitimate people and real shows, I was like,
Let's move on. The chat's being very supportive. I appreciate it. Let's move on to the third question in round two, which is who was Paul Van Ass? Who was that, Paul? Paul Van Ass. Who is that, Lauren? Lauren, tell me. Who is it?
Paul Van Ass
Yeah.
was a name that Kramer gave himself on an episode of Seinfeld when the crew was stuck in the Puerto Rican Day Parade and they needed to get up to use a bathroom. So they all claimed different identities to go and say that they were interested in buying a property, and that was his alias.
I see. So to trick the property owners.
Instead of just saying his
Paul
name was
Van Ass.
Cosmo Kramer, they all had fake names. Obviously, George was Art Vandelay. That's what's with Kramer's Paul Van Ass.
Paul Van Ass. Very specific answer. I love the details, Lauren. Marissa, let's go to you. Who was Paul Van Ass?
Paul Van Ass was a olive tapenade distributor in France, and he had all of his name, Paul Van Ass, on the jar. It became a novelty item in the 1990s in the United States.
It became a novelty item in the 90s because of the label.
Exactly.
So people were bringing this tapenade over from France because they were like, everybody needs to see this funny name.
Everybody needs to eat this ass.
Oh, Marissa. That's funny. David, let's hear your answer.
I applaud the eating ass joke, but it's not true. Paul Van Ass was the men's field hockey coach for the Netherlands, and he actually brought the team. He coached them in the 2012 Summer Olympics. He coached them to a silver medal. Unfortunately, they lost to Germany, I believe. And when his contract expired in 2014, he then went on to coach the Indian men's field hockey team. And that's the extent of my knowledge of his career.
Okay, so it was just a field hockey coach?
A men's field hockey coach, an Olympic level silver medal winning men's field hockey coach.
Okay.
Paul Van Ass.
David, how do you know this?
Paul Van Ass is a personal hero of mine. I have his poster above my bed.
Okay. Dan Chapman in the comments is saying, this is the plot of The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, David, how dare you cheat?
David, is that true? Is that the plot of Mighty Ducks?
I haven't seen the Disney Plus series. It could be that.
Could be on Disney Plus. Well, maybe it's based on the real Paul Van Ass, and they had to change the name for Disney reasons.
Right.
Paul is such an American-sounding name, guys. I mean, come on.
He's not necessarily Dutch. He can coach a team without being Dutch.
Someone in the chat just conjectured perhaps that David has a Google alert for ass.
Yeah, it goes off 1,000 times a day.
Listen, so my choices here are Lauren's answer is it was an alias that Kramer came up with on Seinfeld for himself. Marissa's answer is he made this olive product that everyone in the United States loved because they could offer everyone to eat ass as a joke. And David's answer is it was a field hockey coach.
Yep. The men's field hockey coach for the Netherlands, yeah.
All right. Any of these could be true. I'm not getting any help from the chat on this one. Not so much. Everyone mostly just wants to make fun of David in the chat here.
I mean, there's a very popular Seinfeld episode about the Ass Man when Kramer also had a car that said Ass Man on it. Where do you think the connection is?
Marissa Explains Nothing seems to look, genius is often scorned, so I think these jokes indicates that I'm correct.
All right, with some support for David in the chat, but Brian Michael says go with your heart misinformation, and honestly, my heart is with Marissa's answer. Paul Van Ness, that olive French businessman who created a novelty product. David looks so sad. I'm giving 5 points to Marissa. I appreciated that joke, and that sounds like something that could be true. Something in the US that people would be offering. I think that's a funny joke. I like the idea. A lot of details. Marissa used the word tamponade. A lot of really good details.
Hey, misinformation.
Yeah, Will.
Do you hate me?
I really don't.
Do you hate David? Which one is it? You gotta hate one of us.
I don't hate either of you. Listen, Paul Van
Because
Ass,
he's right on that one. I just wanted to put that out there first.
so he was a field hockey coach for the Olympics. In the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay. David, I guess what my problem was with your answer is that it didn't have any sort of kind of joke in it.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to go with topics that I think are pretty ubiquitous to me, and the two that come to mind are ass and Mortal Kombat. So,
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how the rest of this goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. David, I'm rooting for you.
I wish you would toast
Sort
the
of.
ass, David.
You wish what?
I wish you would toast the ass.
I'm
working on it.
David, Marissa is wishing you a toasty ass because she is currently roasting your ass in this game. Marissa, you have 15 points. You must be feeling pretty good right now. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
I'm glad that ass joke landed.
And for me.
Definitely, if you're looking for entertainment yesterday, check out Once Upon a Doodle on Sundays at 6 p.m. on the same channel. And if you're looking for high drama, check out Blittle League on the Splurts Hub.
Awesome, Marissa. That first channel for Sundays is twitch.tv/2MB Studios, where you are right now. The second channel is twitch.tv/the Splorts Hub. That's the Sports Hub with an L, baby. Excellent. Thank you so much, Marissa. Let's dive into round 3. David, I believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've got this. You don't have any points so far, but the night is young. The game is hot. Let's go to the first question in the third round, which is, who wore the most expensive dress in Academy Awards history? And how much was it worth? This is the most expensive dress in Academy Awards history. How much was it worth? Marissa.
$1, but it was $1. The reason why they say it's the most expensive was because at the time, $1 was like insanely inflated, and so like $1 was actually like millions and millions of dollars.
And who wore the dress, Marissa?
Princess Ty.
Yeah, back in the 90s, that's $1.
So, Marissa's
What happens
got
when
such
you call
a
me
strong
first?
lead right now. And Marissa, Princess Di in the 90s spent $1 on a dress, which for the time was extravagant, and she wore that dress to the Academy Awards.
Yes, but it wasn't US dollars, it was Zimbabwean dollars.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It all comes together. It definitely makes sense. Okay. David, let's go. Let's go to you next. What's your answer? Who wore this dress? How much did it cost?
Yeah, don't worry, Marissa. You're going to get the points. Yeah, it was Jennifer Lawrence in 2013. She wore a bluish pink Dior couture, and it was worth $4 million. And it was only lent to her. She doesn't still have it. So
Right.
$4 million dress in 2013, Jennifer Lawrence.
Why did it cost so? Why was it worth that much?
I don't know why it was worth that much. I'm sure they probably just made it that expensive just for the headline. And the whole thing with the red carpet, it's all about just materialistic. Oh, look at how amazing. It's like this big, elegant, like it looked like a wedding dress pretty much.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I remember the one you're talking about in 2013. Maybe. Lauren, what was your answer?
Guys, it is Audrey Hepburn. It was $6.2 million. And it was, I'm never good at saying this designer's name, but he frequently would create costumes specifically for her. He costumed her in Breakfast at Tiffany's, designed unique outfits solely for her. That is why it was worth so much. In today's money, it would be worth more. And I'm going to sound real dumb trying to say the designer's name. It's Givenchy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's G-I-E Vinci. I never say it out loud. I always read it. So I'm sorry, I can't actually say it to you.
Lauren, you can't say the name?
It's a name that I've read and I don't say out loud. It's Givenchy. I sound like a dummy.
Marissa's giving you the thumbs up. Marissa, is that how you pronounce?
That's how I'd pronounce it right now.
Givenchy?
Yeah.
David, why don't you give it a shot? How would you pronounce that?
Toasty.
All right.
It's Givenchy.
Emlev says it's pronounced Givenchy.
Same thing. He was the designer for Audrey Hepburn specifically. He created costumes specifically and a gown specifically for her.
Okay. Listen, Lauren, it's a good answer. But I have to go with what sounds right here. And Marissa, is not who I'm going to give points for that round for that reason. So really what we have to ask here is whether we think it was Jennifer Lawrence for $4 million or whether it was Audrey Hepburn for $6.2 million.
Yeah.
In my opinion, both of these prices, way more than I would spend on a dress, personally. But,
well, they wouldn't have paid for it. I think that's just the value that, that they're putting in the tabloids.
Right.
Or the value of worth. I mean, if it's something hand created for a specific person, it is going to be more expensive as opposed to mass produced.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to go against the chat on this one. And I'm going to say that if Lauren was going to prepare an answer,
I can't.
Lauren might have, I don't know, looked up a pronunciation. I'm going to, listen, it's late in the game. I'm going to give 5 points to David Thomas for a solid answer. That answer could be right. I think I remembered something about them putting like real diamonds by hand into one. I think Anne Hathaway wore it, something like that. But the point is, $4 million already, maybe too much for a dress, but Will.
Misinformation?
Yeah.
You're correct.
What? Oh my gosh.
It was Jennifer Lawrence.
Guys, Vinci really was the designer for Audrey Hepburn, and I can never say their name right.
Oh, no.
Like, that was a true fact, but I can't pronounce it.
Oh my gosh, I thought I was just being the nicest host in the world.
Yeah.
To throw David a few points.
Yeah.
It really was. It was Jennifer Lawrence. Wow.
I think I actually knew that, but I was like, I can't say the truthful answer. The Zimbabwe.
That's always the backup.
Once in a while, and I'm not making excuses for myself because I don't know a lot of answers on this show, but once in a while, twice now, I will go against the chat and I will get it right. And that is some kind of feeling. Let's go to the next question. It is, technically, this breed of dog doesn't bark. Instead, it yodels. What breed and why? Why does this dog yodel? Lightning round here. David, what's your answer?
Australian Shepherd. And
why?
It technically barks, but they call it a yodel just because it tends to go like, whoa, like it comes out as like an echo, like a self echo.
That could be true. All right, Lauren, what's your answer?
It is a basenji. It has an unusual shaped lyric. It sounds like not a arf, 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 arf. So it's a yodel instead of a bark.
What's a lyric?
Larynx. It's in your throat.
In your throat. Yeah. I know that. Marissa.
It's a boxer.
There we go.
It's a boxer.
Why is that?
It's a boxer, and it's because of the way.
Sorry, Marissa.
Da Vinci.
It's a boxer. And boxers, they were bred for a very specific purpose, later on for racing, but because of the way that they were bred, they do have a very distinctive howl, and it sounds like yodel, which is why they call it a yodeling dog or a boxer.
Okay.
They still bark.
Larynx, not lyrics.
Got it, Lauren. Listen, it's the lightning round. So here's how we're going to do this. Everybody's just going to do your best impression of what this dog sounds like. Whoever does sort of the best impression of what the dog sounds like, I'm going to go ahead and give them 5 points. David, let's hear your impression first. That's pretty good. Lauren, what's yours? Could be true. Marissa, what's yours? Oh, Marissa, that was just beautiful. Marissa, let's go with you for a boxer. I think I've heard a boxer make a sound just like that before. Marissa sounded just like that dog.
Well, actually, here she might have sounded like that dog, but she's incorrect on this one. It's Lauren.
Yeah. Lauren, it was the shape of the larynx.
Guys, I also had to write out how to say basenji, and I don't think I'm saying it right.
So you did write out the pronunciation of the answer you prepared.
Pronunciation is hard.
My reasoning was airtight. Let's go ahead and do our last question here, which is just, what is tyromancy? Tyromancy. What is that, Lauren?
It's a word created by Tyra Banks later on in season 16 of America's Next Top Model. Instead of smizing, tyromancing is using your body in alluring and seductive shapes.
Ooh, could be true. Marissa, what's your answer?
It is the very old practice of cultivating cheese and using those cultures to try to predict the future.
Cheeses?
Cheeses. Yep, you simply. I'm not lying. You're cultivating cheeses and using how those cultures build the cheese to try to predict the future.
Wow. Okay, could be true. David, what's your answer?
Tyromancy refers specifically to the practice of melting down metal ores into malleable ingots from which they can use it for crafting.
That doesn't make any sense.
That makes complete sense because that's what it is.
No. Tyra Banks brought us smize. She couldn't have brought us this as well.
All of these sound right to me.
It's a very old term.
It is a very old term. Also referenced in The Witcher.
Yeah, when you're crafting armor.
When you're predicting the future with cheese.
No.
When you're predicting
It says Tyra's name in it.
I feel like if it was
broken.
tyromancy, it would be spelled with an A in the middle. That's what's giving me pause, Lauren.
Romance plus Tyra. Tyromancy.
What's
Oh my
romancy?
gosh.
Romancy is being seductive with your body for poses for the camera. Like this.
Like, oh my gosh, Lauren. That was really good. Okay, you know what? No, Lauren, I don't agree. I think if it was tyromancy, it would be Tyra's full name in there. Tyra's full name is not in that word. Marissa, predicting the future with cheese is ridiculous. I have to go with David by default, frankly. Both of those answers were too much for me. I'll go with David for melting rocks.
Well, actually,
The only
here,
one, yeah.
would you believe that Marissa is correct on this one? It's predicting the future with cheese.
Will, did that sound right to you? Predicting the future with cheese?
Certainly didn't, but it was right. So that's what really matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, David, you're ending up with 10 points here. That's not bad. Lauren, you're right in the middle. Marissa, you're in the lead, but we still have the bonus lightning round. Let's dive into it without further ado. We've got time for a few questions with our bonus lightning round. Chat, if it's your first time here, I don't give out any points during the bonus lightning round. You decide the bonus lightning round, and you decide the winner by giving out points. Go ahead and put somebody's name into the chat if you want to see them have a bonus point for their answer that they give for the bonus lightning round. Are you folks ready?
Yes.
So
Excellent.
ready.
Lauren, before we dive into the bonus lightning round, is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
It's not what I want to share. It's the secrets you want to share with us when you come to sleepover. It's a sleepover every second and fourth Saturday at 10 p.m. at 2MB Studios. We're all in middle school. We're all in the middle school chat, and spooky things happen sometimes.
Ooh.
Join the spooky sleepover, everybody. And this coming Saturday, right, Lauren?
Correct.
Excellent. Will,
All right.
are we ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Lauren, you
Yeah.
are up first.
Okay.
Oh, what is this?
Those are pistachio shells. The little, yeah.
David, what is this?
That's toasted ravioli from Kraft.
Marissa, what is this?
That is the petals from a hibachi tree.
Ooh. Will, what is this actually?
It's a type of noodle called orecchietti.
Orecchietti, everybody.
Ooh.
A noodle. Let's go. Next question. Lauren, where is this?
It is nowhere. It is a painting by Picasso.
Ooh.
David, where is this?
That's the Porsche test track.
Ooh. Marissa, where is this?
Southern Ireland.
Ooh. Will, where is this actually?
It's Mongolia, the Mongolian steppes.
Mongolian steppes. Thank you. Next question. What is this? Lauren,
It's a photograph by Norman Rockwell.
what is this, David?
That's the last known appearance of the Lindbergh baby.
Oh, Marissa, what is this?
It is a 1940s babysitter.
Will, what is this actually?
It's a 1930s invention called the urban window baby cage.
That's so much.
Closest.
Wow.
That's so many things.
That is so many words. Let's go to the next question. Lauren, who is this?
Madame Black.
David, who is this?
That's Mona Lisa's mom, Morgan Lisa.
Marissa, who is this?
That is wife of Henry III.
Wow. Will, who is this actually?
That is the author Mary Shelley.
Oh.
Mary
Ooh.
Shelley.
Ah.
Next question. Where is this, Lauren?
Oh, that is Carlos Bakery.
Oh, David, where is this?
That's the setting. That's a picture from the set of Grease 3. Back to Greece.
Marissa, where is this?
That is LaGrange, Texas.
LaGrange, Texas.
The set of The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Nice.
Will, where is this actually?
It's one of the original Baskin-Robbins ice cream shops.
Close.
Wow.
So close.
Let's do one more here. One more. What is this car called?
Me? It's
Lauren.
called
Yes.
DeLorean pen.
David, what is this car called?
Batman post-divorce.
Marissa, what is this car called?
The Leviathan.
Wow. Will, what is this car actually called?
It's actually called the Donkervoot D8 GTOS.
Oh, right.
Actually, yeah.
You all were very close. You all were very close with that one. We're going to close it on out with that. That was, oh boy, the bonus points are still rolling in. It's very, very close. But we have a winner from the bonus points. One heck of a game, everybody. But I am here to declare a win by bonus points. An overwhelming number from the audience coming in to make David Thomas the winner of this episode of That Sounds Right.
Yes.
I'm not joking.
Nice.
Wow.
That's real. That really happened.
I love that.
David Thomas, the winner of That Sounds Right tonight. David, you are walking away with now a master's degree from Twimby University, making you definitively the smartest man in the world. Yeah, everybody, this is real. Thank you so much for joining us. Marissa and Lauren, thank you so much for playing. David, thank you.
Toasty.
Toasty work. Everybody, toasty work tonight. Will, thank you so much, as always, for everything that you do. Chat, thank you for being here. Join us next week at 7 p.m. on That Sounds Right, where anything can happen. And stay tuned for Poof starting right now. Good night, everybody.
Bye.